The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Matthew 26:41. Let us begin with a simple question. Why does the mind, so vast in its potential, falter after resisting a handful of temptations? The mind may be boundless in imagination, but the body obeys the laws of energy. Willpower is not an infinite force of pure discipline. It is a biological and psychological resource, taxed by every act of self-restraint. Each refusal, each moment of focus, draws from the same well until the bucket comes up empty. The illusion of infinite willpower. We assume willpower is an endless well until we find it dry. But what if willpower is more like a muscle, fatiguing with exertion? Research confirms this intuition. Like a muscle pushed to its limits, self-control weakens with overuse. The brain, running on glucose, exhausts its fuel after repeated acts of restraint. This is why, after a day of resisting distractions, we often succumb to late-night cravings, not because we lack virtue, but because our reserves are spent. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Abraham Lincoln. But why must discipline have a cost? Because every choice is a transaction, an exchange of present energy for future gain. The cost exists to teach us discernment. Without it, we would never learn to distinguish between fleeting whims and enduring values. The friction of depletion forces us to ask, is this truly worth my limited resolve? The ego depletion theory, a battle of selves. Baumeister's ego depletion theory suggests that self-control operates like a metabolic resource. Judges deny parole more before lunch, when mental fatigue peaks. This reveals a profound truth. Willpower is not just an abstract force of mind, but a physiological process. When blood sugar drops, so does our capacity for patience, rationality, and moral judgment. The body's needs shape the mind's abilities. Yet, is this merely biological? Or is there a deeper existential struggle? The body sets the boundaries, but the meaning we assign to them defines our experience. Some see depletion as a failure, others as a reminder of their humanity. The struggle is not just against fatigue, but against the stories we tell ourselves about what fatigue means. Freedom versus fatigue. Sartre claimed we are condemned to be free, burdened by endless choices. But if freedom demands willpower, and willpower is finite, are we truly free? Freedom does not mean unlimited energy. It means the power to choose within our limits. A river is most powerful when it flows within its banks. Our constraints do not negate our freedom. They give it form. Man is not the creature of circumstances. Circumstances are the creatures of men. Benjamin Disraeli. But what if circumstances drain the very will needed to change them? Then the first act of liberation must be restoration. Sleep, nourishment, small victories. These are not indulgences, but the foundation of rebellion. To overthrow exhaustion, we must first surrender to the need for rest. The decision fatigue. Every trivial choice, what to wear, what to eat, erodes resolve. Obama wore only blue and gray suits to conserve decision-making energy. This is the wisdom of elimination. By automating the insignificant, we preserve our will for what matters. Routine is not rigidity. It is the scaffolding that frees the mind for higher things. Yet if willpower is so fragile, why do some people seem indefatigable? They have either mastered habit or purpose. Habits automate action, bypassing the need for choice. Purpose aligns desire with duty, turning exertion into flow. The indefatigable are not those with infinite will, but those who have stopped wasting it. The conditioning of will, habit versus effort. William James observed that habits are the flywheel of society, automating behavior so willpower isn't needed. A habit is willpower's masterpiece. Pay the effort up front, and the action later runs on autopilot. The pianist does not decide each note. The habit carries her through. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. But if habits conserve willpower, why do we struggle to form them? Because habit formation itself demands willpower. A cruel paradox. The brain clings to familiar paths, resisting change until the new way becomes the default. The initial effort is the price of future ease. The depletion-determination duality. Carol Dweck's mindset theory suggests that those who see willpower as limitless perform better. Belief bends reality. If you think willpower renews itself, you push further before feeling drained. But even the most determined eventually meet their limits. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. But if belief alone could refill the tank, why do even the most determined falter? Because the body's laws are unyielding. Belief can stretch stamina, but it cannot replace sleep, food, or joy. The mind may be willing, but the flesh keeps its own ledger. The dark night of the will. Mystics speak of the dark night of the soul, when effort feels futile. Is willpower's depletion a mirror of this? Yes. The moment of exhaustion is not just a physical event, but a spiritual crossroads. Sometimes, the will must break before it can be remade. The oak fought the wind and was broken. The willow bent when it must and survived. Robert Jordan. Is surrender sometimes the path to renewal? Absolutely. Resilience is not just endurance. It is the wisdom to yield, recover, and return. The deepest strength knows when to bend. The replenishment paradox. Sleep, laughter, love, these restore willpower. Yet in exhaustion, we often deny ourselves these very remedies. Why? Because depletion distorts judgment. The state that most needs recovery convinces us we don't have time for it. We mistake motion for progress, forgetting that even machines must pause for maintenance. Rest is not idleness. John Lubbock. The body and mind move in cycles. Depletion is not failure. It is a signal, a call to realign with the rhythms of restoration. Willpower as a currency. If willpower is finite, then life is not a test of strength, but of allocation. Every yes to one thing is a no to another. The wise do not seek infinite willpower. They spend it with precision, investing in what aligns with their deepest values. The price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. Henry David Thoreau. And so, the final question remains. If your willpower is a dwindling flame, what is worth burning it for? Only that which resonates with your truth. When the fuel runs low, only what you truly love will keep the fire alive.